The world has witnessed many horrifying figures whose lives twisted from ordinary paths into nightmares that shook entire nations. Among them stands a figure from Indonesia, whose story is as bizarre as it is terrifying. Very Idham Henyansyah, often nicknamed the singing serial killer. Early life, Very Idham Henyansyah was born on February 1, 1978, in Jombang, East Java, Indonesia. His childhood was, by many accounts, a mix of traditional upbringing and hidden personal struggles. Growing up in a modest family, he appeared to live a normal life on the surface. However, deep within him, confusion and emotional turbulence were already brewing. As a young boy, Henyansyah struggled with his identity. From an early age, he recognized that he was attracted to men, a fact that clashed deeply with the conservative cultural and religious environment of Indonesia. Feeling isolated, Henyansyah kept his feelings a secret for years, learning to mask his true self to fit in the societal expectations. In his teenage years, he pursued a path that many Indonesian families would be proud of. He memorized the Quran and trained to become a Hafiz, someone who has committed the Islamic holy book to memory. He studied at Islamic boarding schools and was even considered a religious teacher at one point. Yet beneath this image of devoutness and discipline, Henyansyah struggled with growing resentment, anger, and rejection from both society and those around him. Emerging adult life. As he grew into adulthood, Henyansyah moved to Jakarta, where he started a new chapter in life. There, he tried to embrace his identity more freely, working as a model and singer while living openly as a gay man. At the same time, he dabbled in the world of male prostitution, providing escort services for wealthy men. Life in Jakarta was fast and rough. Henyansyah's dream of fame as a pop singer remained unfulfilled, and he floated between different jobs. Meanwhile, emotional scars from years of rejection and self-loathing deepened. The gap between the religious expectations he had once embraced and the life he lived in Jakarta widened into a chasm he could no longer bridge. Loneliness, anger, and frustration grew stronger inside him. The murders began. It was around 2006 to 2008 when Henyansyah's suppressed rage exploded into terrifying violence. He targeted men who either rejected his advances, failed to fulfill promises, like financial support, or in some cases, simply angered him. In chilling confessions later, Henyansyah admitted that feelings of rejection triggered uncontrollable rage within him. He could not bear being discarded or humiliated, and so he responded with murder. His method was often brutal and up close. He beat, strangled, and hacked his victims to death. Unlike cold and calculated serial killers, Henyansyah's killings were often impulsive, fueled by a mix of anger, emotional outbursts, and perceived betrayal. One of the most infamous murders involved Heru Haryanto, Henyansyah's own lover. After a heated argument over money, Henyansyah bludgeoned him to death with a metal bar. Instead of hiding his crime carefully, he went a step further. He dismembered the body. Later, he placed the remains into a suitcase and left it in a garbage pile. The gruesome discovery of the suitcase horrified the local community and triggered a police investigation that would unravel a web of even darker secrets. Discovery of more bodies. As authorities dug deeper into Henyansyah's life, they uncovered even more chilling details. At his family home in Jombang, police found several corpses buried in the backyard. The bodies were in various stages of decomposition, some buried shallowly, indicating that he had killed several victims over time and disposed of their bodies in the same area. It became clear that Henyansyah had led a double life. To his neighbors, he was a quiet and polite young man who had once memorized the Quran. But behind closed doors, he had turned into one of Indonesia's most notorious serial killers.
Inside were 3 torsos.
Arrest and confession. Henyansyah was finally arrested in 2008, and when confronted by police, he confessed to his crimes without hesitation. During interrogations, he was surprisingly open about the murders, providing detailed accounts of how and why he killed each victim. He confessed to at least 11 murders, though authorities suspect the true number could be higher. What shocked the public even more was his demeanor. Instead of showing remorse or fear, Henyansyah appeared cheerful and unbothered. In fact, he even sang during police interrogations, leading to the chilling nickname, the singing serial killer. At times, he would perform pop songs for the media, posing dramatically and smiling as cameras flashed. This bizarre behavior made him even more infamous across Indonesia and beyond. Motive behind the murders. When asked why he was killed, Henyansyah explained that he murdered people who had hurt his feelings or rejected him. Most of his victims were men he had romantic feelings for or who had used him for money and later discarded him. It was clear that the killings were not premeditated in the traditional sense. Rather, they were crimes of passion, born from emotional instability, pent-up rage, and feelings of worthlessness. He also stated that some of the victims had promised him marriage or financial support and later abandoned those promises. Feeling betrayed, Henyansyah lashed out in the most violent way imaginable. Trial and sentencing. Henyansyah's trial drew huge media attention. The court proceedings revealed disturbing details about his murders, his motivations, and his double life. In 2009, Henyansyah was found guilty of multiple murders and sentenced to death. He showed little emotion during the sentencing, maintaining the same strange calmness he had shown during his confessions. After his sentencing, Henyansyah continued to attract public attention. He published an autobiography titled The Untold Story of Ryan, where he detailed his life, his struggles with his sexuality, his resentment towards society, and his version of the events that led to his crimes. The book stirred controversy, with some criticizing the glamorization of his crimes, while others saw it as a disturbing look into the mind of a killer. Life on death row. Even after conviction, Henyansyah stayed in the spotlight. From prison, he gave interviews, spoke of repentance, and announced an engagement that never happened. Some saw his actions as desperate bids for attention, others as attempts to reshape his story. Today, Henyansyah remains on death row, awaiting execution. Indonesia's slow process has left him spending years behind bars, far from the fame and admiration he once desperately sought. Psychological analysis. Psychologists found Henyansyah deeply unstable, battling abandonment, low self-esteem, and a craving for control. His violent outbursts stem from rejection and internalized self-hatred, shaped by societal condemnation of his sexuality. Publicly charming, yet narcissistic, he masked deep pain. His case shook Indonesia, sparking debates on mental health and prejudice. Henyansyah's story remains a chilling reminder of the devastation caused by untreated emotional wounds and suppressed rage. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit the like button, share your thoughts in the comments section, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. To stay updated on our future videos, click on the notification bell icon after subscribing. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.